Hi, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to people joining us for yet another edition of the Education Talks, the webinars around education and definitely international education that we at OP Jindal Global University, Delhi NCR, India have been hosting for last many months now. It's been a real pleasure and honor to host some of the leading educators from around the world on this platform. And today is yet another interesting topic that we have come up with for our audience. This is your host for the day, Ankur Vohra, the Head of Outreach and International Admissions at the university. We are a leading social sciences research-based liberal arts institution based out of Delhi NCR, India. I have have had the pleasure of hosting some very fabulous educators from around the world. But one of the countries that I really wanted to have a detailed discussion on is one of my favorite places where I have recruited and made friends, recruited students and made friends across schools and universities. I'm very happy to be focusing on a country quite near to us, Bangladesh. We have a fabulous panel today of school educators, university administrators, and an independent career counselor who will be talking about what has been on everybody's mind. The effect of COVID-19 has been rampant across all our sectors not only in South Asia but across the globe. We will be talking especially about the impact that COVID-19 is having in Bangladesh. How is the country looking up? How is the country ensuring that it gives access to continuous education for its students, and it is able to provide the momentum that is required for a country, a growing and a developing economy like Bangladesh to achieve its goals. Give me a second. I'd like to share a presentation to set the context of this chat before I go over to my panelist. Yes, so topic is effect of COVID-19 on education and international student mobility in Bangladesh. So for those of my audience who may not be much aware about this wonderful country, Bangladesh is located in South Asia. The capital city is Dhaka, is a very dynamic and populous city, I must say. I've had the honor of visiting Dhaka on more than a couple of occasions, and every time I've been there, I have found more similarities from with our country rather than dissimilarities. Dhaka, Bangladesh is also economically one of the fastest growing economies in South Asia region. At one point of time, Bangladesh was growing before COVID at more than 8%. The GDP was growing more than 8%, which was higher than even India and other South Asian economies. The economy was booming. There was a lot of people that were being uplifted out of poverty before this pandemic hit us. So it also meant that there was a lot of interest in international education and education locally. So the sector itself was growing. I know for a fact that there were a lot of new universities being set up in Bangladesh. There was a lot of emphasis on school education, a lot of new schools coming up. Over the past 3 to 4 years that I have been traveling the country, I've seen the hunger for the top quality education amongst the youth in the country. So Dhaka is quite Bangladesh, sorry, is quite populous. They have a substantial population, which is also young. So the population dynamics is also one of the youngest in the world. So that means that the projections for demand for good quality education is only going to grow in coming times. The government of Bangladesh has made some quite a well laudable progress expanding access to education and improving educational attainment rates in recent years. The primary education enrollment rate is close to 98% in 2018. The adult literacy rate increased from 46% in 2001 to 73% in 2018. Despite these important strides, there have been challenges. Enrollment rates for tertiary education has doubled, but it is only reached 20%, 20.57% in 2018. So as I said in my initial remarks, Bangladesh has been making progress even in the education sector, with primary education enrollments and the adult literacy rate increasing. Also, we have doubled, the country has doubled its enrollment rate for tertiary education, but still we have a long way to go. And definitely COVID will have an impact on those goals for the country. The number of students in the higher education sectors, there are close to 1 million students in the higher education sectors in Bangladesh, and there are different universities. There are public universities, 25 of them. There is one national university, there is one Bangladesh Open University, and more importantly, there are more than 50 private universities that serve more than 60,000 students in Bangladesh. So there is quite, as I said again, this is numbers supporting my context initial remarks that the education sector in Bangladesh was growing before COVID hit us. International student mobility, outbound student flow from Bangladesh have also increased. They have almost quadrupled in 12 years between 2005 and 2017. While there were 15,000 students who went abroad in 2005, you will be happy to note in 2017 there were over 57,000 students who went abroad for higher education. So these are some of the numbers where are the Bangladeshi students in higher education, and if you see, majority of them make Malaysia as a country of choice for their higher education needs, followed by United States, Australia, and then we have UK and Germany. We do in India also get substantial number of students from Bangladesh. I know Government of India through its Study in India program, the ICCR scholarships, is invested heavily in Bangladesh and recruit some of the best students from the country. But we do note that the first number one choice for many myriad reasons remains Malaysia, followed by United States. Another important thing that I wanted to focus here is our Dhaka College Counsellor Network, which was formed quite some years back and has been doing some phenomenal work in the region. And I've seen the growth of DCCN right from its inception. In my previous university in 2017, when we had the honor of hosting some of the leading counselors, and a couple of them are here from that batch when we invited them over to my previous university. And I've seen the work that these guys have been doing. So anybody who is interested in understanding more about Bangladesh and student recruitment in Bangladesh can also look at the Dhaka College Counsellor Network. So now coming to the topic for the day, the impact of COVID-19 on education. This is the update that I read online on Google today morning. The schools have been asked to remain closed until 3rd of October. Bangladesh has more than 350,000 cases. The recovery rate is good, with more than 267,000 people recovered. So the situation is still grim. It's not normal like any other country around the world. There are challenges with how do we handle COVID, how do we balance economic needs along with the health, which remains priority. But what is its impact on the school education? Lockdowns have become the norm. School education has moved online on Zoom, but there are broader and deeper consequences. As we say in India, for a developing country like India, not everybody has access to those resources that are required to ensure that that every student has access to online classes. There are challenges with regards to their nutrition. There are challenges with regards to how and when they can access the. Not everybody has a Wi-Fi internet at home. Not everyone has a laptop. Not everyone has a smartphone. So similar challenges that we face here in the country, in our own country, in India, there are similar challenges that are being faced by our counterparts in Bangladesh. So this is the current situation in Bangladesh that I could find out from my research. Now I will stop here, and I would like now to give it over to my colleagues who will be talking in depth about their own experiences in the country. They are, as I said, they are leading educators from the country across university and schools. My first distinguished panelist, Mr. Suman Chatterjee, who is the Director for Marketing and Student Recruitment and one of the leading liberal arts university out of Bangladesh. This is definitely one of the universities that I look up to, the Asian University for Women. I would like to invite Suman to come on board and start share his views around this important issue. Before I invite Suman, I'd like to formally introduce him. Suman Chatterjee is currently the Director for Marketing and Student Recruitment with Asian University for Women, a leading liberal arts and sciences university in Bangladesh. He has over 2 decades of work experience, having worked with Manipal Education Group and Manipal International University, Malaysia, prior to joining his current role. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you here with us, Suman. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Ankur. I first of all like to thank you for inviting me in this extremely relevant conversation topic today. And a very good afternoon to all my panelists who are amazing people and become good friends and a big supporter of our university. And I'd like to formally thank you, Evana, Nusrat, Afsana ma'am, and Tohin bhai for the support that you give to our university. And before I go into the topic straight away, if you allow me, Ankur, I'd like to quickly introduce my university to people who may not know much about us. So Asian University for Women is an international independent university located in Chittagong, Bangladesh. We follow, as you said, a US-style liberal arts and sciences curriculum. We were founded in the year 2008, and this summer we graduated our 7th cohort of students, which took to 900 students from 17 different countries who have graduated so far. And today we have close to 1,000 students who are from 19 different countries. So you understand, Ankur, we are a little unique as a university, and the challenges that we faced in context of the COVID-19 was also pretty unique for us. As you understand from the student mix that we have, the student body that we have, 70% students are residential students, a little over 70% actually. And we had to declare the lockdown, or we had to go online a week prior to the Bangladesh government had gone announced the lockdown, because we could not afford to put our student health at risk. And the students, the professor, the staff had stopped coming to campus, and we went on online mode of lectures and classes. Then what we followed was repatriation of the students from these countries who were in our campus. And we took the help of the education ministries, the embassies, the High Commission. I would like to thank them for the support that they've given us in the repatriation of the students. But even today, we have close to 50 students who are still in our campus from countries like Lao PDR, Timor-Leste, a few students from Cambodia, Afghanistan, Myanmar, because of the conditions in the country or the living conditions that they come from, where they could not think of going back home and study. That's impossible in the situation that they come from, because as many of you know, 70% of the students of AUW come from very challenging backgrounds, and we provide full scholarships to them, and we provide 2 pre-collegiate programs before they start the degree programs. One is called the Pathways for Promise, which is, we call reserved for students from the very marginalized communities, like refugees, students from war-torn countries, RMG worker from Bangladesh, students from the madrasas in Bangladesh, indigenous community from Bangladesh, daughters of tea estate workers of Bangladesh and other countries, and microfinance borrowers, children of the Grameen Bank. So this is the kind of cohort. So you understand from the cohort that our students do not come from, most of them do not come from affluent backgrounds, who could afford, who can afford to have a laptop or a smartphone, which is or Wi-Fi at home. So this was a big challenge for us, and I'll come to how we are solving that. And the while we were doing this, we tried to find out from each student what was the resources available from them for them, so that we could help address them. So some of our students from those backgrounds are actually given laptops by the university or by the donors who sponsor them, and some have a smartphone, and but many of them could not afford to pay for the internet bill, the data that you need to attend online classes. So we as a university identified those groups, and we are reimbursing the cost of their data cost every month, so that they can do their online classes sitting at the home or localities they come from. Second thing that we saw is that the places that our students come from have do not have the greatest of the bandwidths in the internet, and even the power connectivity is intermittent. There's sometimes power, there's sometimes no power. So our faculty and professors are actually uploading lectures 2 days before the actual class happens, you see, so that the students can go through the lectures at their own pace and spend the online class hours for interaction and query resolution only, and not waste time or waste data to see lectures which can be seen offline, right? So we have used that quite effectively, and I'm happy to share with you that we are getting good feedback from our students, faculty, and professors. It has been a new adaptation for them. I am uh, it's been a the adaptation has been quite faster and much more happier than what we expected it to be, both from the student side and from the faculty and professor side. We have completed grading assessments for the last semester. We have also started our fall. I think we are the only university in Bangladesh which has started its fall session. We started with a small cohort this time. We have 115 students only for this cohort, this fall session, from 8 different countries. They are from Bangladesh, obviously our home country, Cambodia. We have students from Lao PDR. We have students from Vietnam, Syria, Sri Lanka, India, Myanmar. These are the 8 countries. I don't know if I've said all the 8. Who have joined our cohort. They've joined the cohort online, and what feedback that I get from the faculty, our deans, our professors, is they're settling on to the new norm that we now call in education space. And besides a couple of students who are struggling with their broadband connectivity or internet issues, we are trying to help them out with a proper handset or a laptop. If it's still not possible for them to come out of that, we might have to put them in our upcoming session when the situation normalizes in our part of the world. And I have be happy to also share that this situation, that most of the schools and colleges and universities are using technologies. We all know what technologies we are using for online classes, uh, to ensure the students are actually actively participating in an online class. Students, the professors, faculties are taking spot quizzes, polling and all that, and new mechanisms of proctoring exams are also being used to see that the exams are fair, and students do not take to unfair means of passing exams. And it has been challenging to all of you. I'm sure you'll agree to me. It has been challenging, a new learning for all of us, and we have I think learned as we've been crossing this face, and we have also tried to use new ways and tactics to overcome that. I think every school, every institution in Bangladesh has a unique problems all over the world. But as I'm following, they have the unique challenges, and we had our share too. And we are in the process of taking regular feedbacks from our students, if what is happening, what is the is there any support that they need from the administrative side for their classes and their programs. We also, I must tell you, we also thankful to some of our recruitment partners who are actually helping the students do group studies. Like I can give you an example. We have students from a place called Kachin state in Myanmar. There, our recruitment partner has actually made one common facility for students to come, maintaining the social distancing and all the criteria for the COVID, where they come for the classes as per the schedule, so that they don't have to spare use a laptop at home or internet connectivity at home. And we are really grateful to such partners and such committed partners that we have, who have been helping us and our students to overcome this challenge. And as everybody, we are optimistic that the government of Bangladesh and the way they are tackling the situation, we will, and the world as a whole will overcome this situation, and we will come to better times where we'll see our students, faculty, everybody in campus, and go back to the old scenario. And it is also my pleasure to be again be talking about my
So,
university. And
Suman, I just want to tell you 10 minutes alarm for you. So you
okay,
can,
just my last sentence then. I
yeah.
think again, thank you, Ankur, for giving me this opportunity, and thanks to the erudite panel that I'm sharing today with. And if there's any question that you have for me, we can take it after the session is over. Thank you once again, everybody, and thank you, Ankur.
Thank you so much, Suman, for sharing the wonderful work that you are doing for your students. Indeed, it's an eye opener to. I didn't know that you fund so many of students for full scholarships and students from deprived backgrounds. Phenomenal work. My heartfelt best wishes to you and your team for doing the wonderful work that you do. And yes, indeed, audience, keep those questions coming. I can see there are already some couple of questions in the chat box for Suman. I will be taking those up at the end, but do keep writing your questions in the chat box. We are taking a note of the questions that are coming our way, and we will be taking them with our fellow panelists at the end of everybody's 10 minutes when they have done their individual view presentations. So moving on quickly to my next speaker. My next speaker is Ms. Afsana Amin, who is the Vice Principal of Cherry Blossoms International School and College. She has been working there for more than 17 years. She started her career as a junior teacher, and now she has been working as an administrator and international counselor. She has done an honors in and masters in education. Cherry Blossoms International School and College was established in 1996 in Dhaka. It is registered under Edexcel Board UK. It's an honor to have you, Afsana, with us here today. Let me give you the presentation right so that you can start sharing your screen. Give me a moment. Yeah, so you would have got a button which said share your screen. You can start sharing your screen. Yeah, we can see your screen now, Afsana.
Thank you, Ankur. I have got it.
Yeah, we can see your presentation. Please go ahead.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. Can you hear me, please? Because I can't. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Afsana, and we can see your presentation.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, so Cherry Blossoms International School was established in 1996, and since then we have been working hard with our student to achieving a good standard and international standard in their study as well as in their educational life. And so when the pandemic started, initially we faced a huge problem, because when the government declared the lockdown from 19th March of this year, then most of the people didn't have any idea what is lockdown. And so they thought it's an opportunity for a long vacation, and they went in their villages with their family and all other tourist spot. So what problem we faced, that when we was thinking about starting the online classes, our teachers and parents were in most of them were out of the town, and they didn't take any laptop or any other technical devices with them. As a result, what happened, that we couldn't start in full phase our online classes initially, and we as an administrator, I have to research a lot that what is the best option for us. And that's why I have joined some international virtual session like JGU webinar and others to get some idea that what other international school is doing in other countries. And I got some ideas from there as well. And I have talked with my teachers and parents that what the best we can do for them, and what's the situation. And they told that madam, we don't want something that is mobile friendly, because we just carried our mobile with us and nothing else. We don't have a laptop and other technical devices. So what happened to I searched for some software which is very mobile friendly, and our teacher could operate the class from long distance with using their smartphone. And I'm having some problem in showing my slide. Why it's not coming? Okay. So what happened after that?
We can see your slides, Afsana. We can.
Okay, so Ankur, which slide I want to show? Actually, it's not coming.
Yeah, we are seeing the morning assembly slide right now. Now regular online classes.
Okay, but I need the first one.
So click on the first one. I think.
Yeah, it's not coming. I can't see it actually. That's why.
You want me to run it for you?
That would be better. I guess I have to show. Okay, I'm doing it. Let me find a way. Just give me. I am sorry.
Yeah, take your time.
Excuse me for a second.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay, what happened first? This is actually my subject of today. That as a school leader, how school leadership using evidence to manage and change in a pandemic, experience with teachers, parent, and student. So what I was talking about, that first I contact with my teachers, that in which condition they are, and parents as well, then where they're living now and what they have with them. I'm talking about this thing because we have started online class in a very fast pace. The pandemic started, lockdown started from 19th March, and the government had extended it more than 5 times. So when they extended it for the third time, then we got alerted, and because our session is July to June, and what happened that we have our examinees for IGCSE and IL2, and we have to make them prepare. So I have to start my online classes from 19th April. As a result, and I have talked with many administrators with other international school in Dhaka and other places in the country, and most of them answered me that their session will start at September, so they have enough time. And some of them were telling me that they are thinking of using WhatsApp, Viber, and other apps like that. But I wanted some apps which is not app, because some of our guardians also told that they don't have enough space in their mobile to download apps and operate it. So I want some of software which is more mobile friendly. They just have to click a link and it will work through browser. So I researched a lot. After that, I got one software. It's called Class Life. And initially, we started with few students, and gradually we started our class from playgroup to 11, and we took our class from 9:30 to 4 p.m. But we gave some gaps between that. We started with a morning assembly. This idea I actually took from one of the principal from UAE, whom I met through a JGU webinar. She was talking about the morning assembly, that how she takes the assembly through the meditation and some yoga. And I took some idea. I liked those ideas, and I took it from them there. So we started with our national anthem, then invocation, and we are doing some breathing exercise in our assembly. These are some pictures from our morning assembly. And next, how we operate our regular classes. As I already told, that we start our classes from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and now we are operating these classes from Class Live. And we are. I should mention that how our school session is from session is from July to June. So we have to start the new session from July, and for that we also took our online exam, final term exam, and it was a very big challenge for us, as you know that we didn't have any idea or experience that how can be a final term exam taken online. And that's why we used another app. It's called Class Tune, and through it we took our final term exam successfully, and all of our students got promoted. Most of them who gave exam promoted to the next classes on time, and we could successfully started our session on July. And another thing, that this time IGCSE and IL exam was exam was not held, so it was in grade system. So we have to submit their classwork, their city marks, their test marks, everything to the British Council. As we started early, we could successfully submitted all the document to them for our exams. And Alhamdulillah, you'll be happy to know that our pass rate was 100%. We had 100% pass rate, and we have and all of our students passed successfully, and some of the so we are very happy about that we could, as we took an early decision, so we got the fruit, and it was a fruitful decision for us. this is this is our school buildings, and I just took it to make it virtual as we are taking virtual class. We show it. We used to show it in our school in background in our online classes.
Afsana, this is your 10-minute alarm, so
Okay. Next. Okay, next, I'm just showing some picture that how we don't miss any opportunity of taking our art classes, scout classes, and we also never miss any scheduled yearly scheduled program like tree plantation, art competition, essay competition, and science project fair. We didn't miss any scheduled program. We all took in online. As I'm showing some in my presentation, these are some activities in the World Environment Day. It's also our tree plantation program. You can see our students are showing their project on tree plantation. And we also celebrate National Morn Day and Mujib Borsho through art competition and essay competition. These are also taken virtually. And they were taken, they were given prize through courier, and they were given certificate as well.
Thank you.
These are some picture from our project fair, science fair, and we also did our online class party, and we also conduct our regular teachers meeting online. And these are some achievements from our IGCC and IAL. They are the highest achiever in they got Bangladesh highest and also world highest in different subjects. Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope I could present you in a good way. And actually,
yeah, thank you, Afsana. I think there were some technical issues with your slides. Other than that, it went fine. Thank you so much for in spite of those challenges, to get doing justice to your 10 minutes. Appreciate it, and much gratitude to you and the teachers at your school for ensuring continuous education for your students. Thank you so much.
Actually, our teacher must have a get apples from me always, because they always help me in every way. Thank you.
Thank you. So moving on to my next speaker and a dear friend of mine. I think Scholastica is a school that I have been to maximum number of times, right next to airport, and this is where I probably first school that I came to in Bangladesh was Scholastica. So Evana, I'd like to introduce Evana first. Evana Laila Choudhury joined the guidance counseling profession in 2011 after completing her LLB degree under the University of London International Program in 2010. She has been working in Scholastica as a guidance counselor in the University Placement Services Department for over 9 years. After completing her MBA in Independent University Bangladesh in 2014, in addition to being a counselor, she now looks after the University Placement Services Department in both senior campuses of Scholastica. Evana is a member of International Association of College Admission Counseling, International ACAC, it is better known, and the Bangladesh College Counselors Network. It's a pleasure and honor to have you here with us, Evana. Please go ahead and share your feedback on the topic of the day.
Thank you very much, Ankur. And thank you once again for inviting me to discuss this very, very important topic. I mean, I would like to share my experience with you all, the experience in my institution, as well as learn from the other institutions too. Because now, during this new normal, we are always learning. It's like a continuous learning process for all of us. So our session began basically with the A-level result fiasco. The moment the results came out, parents got worried, students got worried about entry requirements, about university applications, and there was suddenly a trend about gap years and admission to local universities and later transfers. All these conversations began, and from the students' perspective, these students actually worked very hard from class 9 onwards with one attention education. we could see that the students were getting demotivated. Hence, we thought this is it, we needed to do something. By the grace of Almighty, as the days progressed, as we started talking, it helped that, gradually but surely, communication helped us get that uncertainty, that sheer panic among the parents to go away, and at least they started to communicate. And once they started communicating, we started to find out pathways to help. It's here that I admiration for university across the world. All the administrative representatives, they opened up themselves, even at odd timings, considering the time zones. And they opened up virtual opportunities for students to interact. And parents and students had the opportunity to talk, discuss their concerns, share their fears. And gradually, what happened is that their fears started to diminish. And this helped us as we proceeded, because as we began counseling, instead of saying that how about a gap year this year, how about transfer options later on, they started talking about, okay, what is it we can do to actually advance? What are the things that we need to do to actually advance and proceed with our responsibilities? What we noticed is the value of a community, meaning teachers ever ready to help students, a community of alums ever ready to help their peers in the same school, and of course us counselors always trying our best to reach out to parents and students. Now, as we call it the new normal, there can't be a better name, because when things will improve, we do not know. But the deadlines, those application deadlines, they remain the same. So we have to work accordingly. So collaboration helped us. Now Scholastica as a school has always prioritized technology, but naturally technology has never been as important as it is now. Thankfully, gratefully, school leaders like Afsana Appa, who are in a position to make administrative decisions, we didn't have to make them, gratefully, because that was a very huge challenge. They set up the Google Classrooms, they set up the online connections, and we focused on the counseling bit. One of the adaptations we did is that it has been for years that we requested for a class solely devoted to counseling. Unfortunately, because of the busy with their academic subjects, there was no time for that one class that's for counseling only. Gratefully, this time, because we are operating virtually, there is a Google Classroom set up for us as counselors, which, like, the students are obligated to attend a math class, students are obligated to attend an English class. Twice a week, students are also expected to attend this counseling class. And assignments shared there, and researches that are given there they are actually doing it now. We have an opportunity to connect on a weekly basis with them. We are also keeping ourselves at a time which we fixed for us from evening 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We have opened up a Google Meet. We stay. Whether student chooses to come or not, it's up to them. But we stay. We have kept ourselves open during these weekdays, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We're here. If you want to join, ask us questions. We are here. And it has been the scene that it has never been a situation that we have just been left stranded there with no one to come. We have had students, we have had parents with questions, with requests for more information. So that opportunity we have, this every week our counselors are present. 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. weekdays, our counselors are there to reach out. So that engagement helps us a lot too. In addition to the virtual sessions which university representatives are taking, alums have been really helpful for us. What they are doing is, when you hear somebody who has gone through the same schooling system, from the same education system which I follow, someone has had that opportunity and yet is in good universities and pursuing their higher education dreams. When alums reach out, I am here for a virtual interaction, that really helped our students engage better. During this COVID situation, we have noticed that our alumni, not only network had gone immensely grateful to all of them. Where when we ensured that when we talk to the students, we ensured that we had certain websites ready for immediate connections. Because you see, when we say, because it did help that a lot of the good universities have gotten test optional. So when we say that, at this point, you can relax a bit in that way, they don't believe us. Naturally, because it's been years of tradition that these tests have been in operation. So now when you say that it is indeed test optional and universities mean test optional, they have a bit of doubt. And we are ready. When we go to counselings, we keep ourselves ready that we can immediately share the resources. And when they see that thing in that website, it does help them reassure themselves. So again, a huge thanks to all the university community as well for thinking about these test optional factors, which helped our students to think, yes, achieving that higher education dream is possible despite the sea of uncertainties this 2021 cohort is in. And despite the sympathies, we have to offer them actual help, and gratefully we are being able, the engagement is getting better. Another thing which we hope, I don't really think it's innovation. Rather, one good thing is that usually when we met physically, our students had a full day of class, and naturally, it's human nature to be a bit exhausted at the end of. So counseling came as something, okay, after the classes, we'll sit with the counselor. Nowadays, since we have opened up that engagement platform where they can reach out to us, when we talk about universities, when we talk about higher education, that is the focus. So, everything has two sides, everything is like a two sides of a coin. Yes, there are the uncertainties of COVID, but then this has also given us an engagement opportunity to connect with the students one-on-one. They're not burdened with the stress of, we have to leave school within a certain time. We have to leave for another class within a certain time. So again, the flip side of the coin is that connecting with the student has gotten a bit better from our end too. As for the challenges, yes, nothing beats a face-to-face interaction when you're dealing with those conflicts. The parents want engineering, the student wants some other subject. I think that is one of the core areas which we are still struggling. But the only good thing which I want to say at this point is that there is an uphill trend. Thanks to technology, thanks to the change in human nature of adapting to technology, we are getting somewhere where we can work together, collaborate, and get into a position which is best for the students. At this point, I believe the mindset of people are also changing, and they are welcoming technology. They are more adaptive to understanding that, yes, I have to take that measure, that online activity, that online class, that online counseling. And I believe that is helping us engage with them too. And definitely having that one counseling twice a week, there is a class as devoted which you have to pass. You have to do the assignment like you have to do for maths and chemistry and other science subjects. You have to complete the assignments for this counseling too. And I think that is one of the things which is really helping us at this point. um, as for the parents community, we remain ever grateful to the parents, because you see, initially the mindset was when students are on the computer, they think they are wasting their time with social media and all. But now the parents have also understood that social media at this point, the connections when students are in front of their screen, when they're interacting with their counselors, it's 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 for genuine reasons, and they need to do their activities well. And students themselves, the uncertainty has driven them to work on their research techniques more. Has driven them to sort of make more informed decisions. To be very truthful at this point, I believe we are working as a community, and this community involves everyone: fellow counselors, university representatives, parents, students, teachers, everyone. And as we are moving ahead, I think we will win this battle, this COVID battle, as I call it. I think we're going to tackle it quite well. So, Ankur, this is it. This is what I
Thank
had to
you.
say.
Thank you
Anything
so much,
else?
Ivana. Yeah, we'll have Q&A for you at the end. But thank you, bang on time, bang on 10 minutes.
I don't know.
So wonderful job. Yeah, it was bang on time. I am timing each one of. So thank you so much, and that was really helpful and really informative about the
Thank
experiences that you and your students are having. The audience, keep those questions coming. Just friendly reminder that we will be taking
thank you.
Q&A at 30 minutes. Requesting all to mute themselves so that we don't disturb the other speaker. So moving on, I would like to now invite another of my close friends from Dhaka and a wonderful institution. Again, next to Scholastica, next to airport, that both the schools I travel to. So I'd like to invite Nusrat Sharmin, a formal introduction for Nusrat. Nusrat Sharmin is currently working as the head of college counseling department for the Aga Khan School, Dhaka. Prior to her joining at the Aga Khan School, she worked as a college counselor and the SAT Center coordinator at International School, Dhaka for 10 years. Nusrat earned her MA from University of Dhaka in 2010 and then finished her MBA degree from Independent University of Dhaka in 2012. She received her diploma in college counseling from University of California Extension Program in 2016. Within her role, she has attended counselor visits to around universities around the world across many top destinations also. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you here with us, Nusrat. Please go ahead and share your views.
First of all, thank you so much for bringing us in a global platform like this. A topic like this, I would definitely say, is something like the university, the university rep, the parents. They are very much interested to know, how the schools, how the universities are, dealing with the situation. Thank you so much, and I'm very glad to see all my friends over here. We are frequently in touch. We share what we are doing. Even though this pandemic situation, I am so connected with most of my counseling friends, and in Bangladesh we do have the Bangladesh College Counselor Network, which is doing an amazing work. We are working more closely, I would say, with this pandemic situation. So first of all, I just go back about my institution. We are running by the Aga Khan Foundation. It's one of the schools that is coming from the Aga Khan Foundation. And we do have our branches globally. And in terms of providing technology, the decision and everything comes from the Aga Khan Foundation, the head office, which is actually situated in France, but they have different academies around the world. So we take a global decision when it comes to implement to their branch school. So I would say we are very fortunate that when the alarm of, is just ongoing, I would say end of February, our school was, we have this closed door meeting, how to implement the technology. So something I would say, like, we have been preparing at the very beginning of March, and teachers were given online training. I would say we got a training for a week, and we would never thought that, we would go disconnected, like physically, for such a long time. So it was, I would say, a very good decision from the school administration, and a very, like I would say, like a very highly performed IT department that we have. They have introduced for our students platform like Microsoft Teams, Google Meet for the regular classes, and as a college counselor, I take most of the session in a subscribed Zoom platform, which gives me like a 2-hour time allocation to run a college counseling session weekly, fortnightly for the students and parents. So first, how we actually have dealt, like it wasn't very easy at the very beginning, because honestly speaking, I myself, I would say I wasn't that tech savvy. So when it came to us, like, we have to take everything online, I was very scared, like, how I'm going to cope with that. But, when it comes, when the training was ongoing, and when I was starting taking the session, I started feeling very comfortable, and I would say, like, everything is actually possible. So when I was saying, like, the school will be closed, we will be only meeting them with online, I wasn't very sure how to deal with that. But the pandemic actually taught us so many things, and taught us how to be more patient, how to deal with different situation. And I would say I'm very grateful that I now learned a lot of things which I would have never learned if this pandemic wasn't there. And the interaction with our students is never less, but I would say more, because I actually could meet the parents now more, because they are staying at home. They, I would say, like, can involve themselves more with their students, because most of them actually coming back straight from their office, and there is like less absence of meeting of the parents. They are like on time. They are giving us like more of their opinion about universities. They are also doing research with their students. Like, I would say, in terms of family bonding, I could see it's like more that has taken place during this situation. When I am actually having a meeting with the students, I could see the mom and dad is sitting beside them, which was not possible when we were at school, because the parents were working. They either have to come early in the morning, or they couldn't come during the weekdays. But I could see I actually could make a very close relationship with the parents, and things which I thought would not be that much comfortable is just treating me opposite. We're like more connected, and we, I would say, like, with the technology, advanced technology, it's not only the Zoom or Microsoft Team. We also use WhatsApp for communication with the parents and the students. Whenever they actually have any kind of query, they just reach out to us, the coordinator, and we try to get back to them as soon as possible. And I would say, like, our school actually also have introduced supporting them social emotionally, because not for everybody is a very pleasant, it's not, we are actually seeing our relatives, our friends who are being infected. So we could understand, things are not very easy to deal with the students too, because their friends, they are missing their friends. They are not very comfortable staying inside the walls. They feel like a little bit of, I would say, deceived, or they, it's school, some for a lot of the students, it's just meeting friends, playing soccer, going out, and these things which are not there. So it made them sad, or they feel depressed. So our school actually have we do have a social emotional counselor, but we are also bringing guest psychologists from different part of the world. They are taking session with our students, which is required, especially I would say students who are like 16 to 19 years old. They are given time to time session, and that's how we are taking care not only their academic, also we want them to be in the best fit in their mental health situation, so that everything goes smooth and positive for creating a good learning environment. And other thing I would definitely say, like, yes, we had a lot of visit physically from different part of the world. The universities came along in the country and paid a visit to our school. But I would say now it is enormous, because there is no visa restriction. There is no like, the timing is like, it's pretty adjustable. So I actually have seen a lot of universities which probably would have been very difficult for them to pay a visit to Bangladesh, they are actually coming virtually. There's a lot of session. The universities actually, it's not only they are presenting their university, but they're coming up with so many helpful sessions like how to deal with the pandemic situation, writing essays, for us, like for counselors and teachers, how to write recommendation letters. So I would say we are getting a lot of helping hand from the universities across the world. And I would say, Ankur, you have been very active. Your universities, they have been providing us a lot of information, a lot of very practical sessions that you have been hosting for, as soon as the pandemic was there. I would see you have been very active. You have been sending me, my coordinator, these webinar information, and we are sharing with our students. So it gives us a sense of, like, the counselors are being taken care of. There is a very good understanding that is coming from the universities, which is extremely relaxing for us. For example, that Evana has mentioned, like, universities are now more flexible. They actually have put a big tab on their, website. When you go for undergrad admissions, they are saying, like, we have now become test optionals. It is like very top ranked and highly competitive universities are just coming up with the logo, like, we have now become test optional, which is a big relief for a lot of students and parents. Like, this is something that, students were stress, they take stress on, take going for a, high score, taking this aptitude test, for repeating those tests. So now they are like concentrating more on their academics, and everything that was like, which we were thinking, like, what will happen, it is being taken care of. And I would say, like,
So this is your 10-minute alarm, so
okay. Yeah, so I would like to just give one information, like, that, our school, I would say, like, they're coping quite well, and we are like over there for our students. And I would say it is not the best situation for all of us, but it has taught us a lot of, I would say, skill, which is amazing. And even though when we will come back to the normal situation, I would say the learning experience that I actually have taken from the pandemic, I will try to implement. And I would say, like, I'm like thankful to all the universities who are being so flexible, to the parent community, especially my school administrator, who are very supported. And everything is being flexible. Our class time is being reduced. Our students' mental health is our top priority. And yeah, and all these board are taking predicted grades, so there is not very cruel on the students community. So I hope we come back to our normal situation, and learning would be more lively as it was. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Nusrat, for that wonderful take. Positive aspects of COVID, I absolutely agree. I think there have been a lot of negativity around COVID, and definitely it's been tough. But there has been some a lot of positive also, especially for education sector. So thank you for that wonderful take on the situation that we are in. Now moving on to our last distinguished speaker for the day, one of my dear friends, Razoun Siddiky Tohin from EMK Center in Dhaka. Before I move to Razoun, I just want to formally introduce him. Razoun is the Education USA team lead at the EMK Center and the US State Department alumni who helps local and foreign institutions to understand and prepare for the US system of higher education. Before joining the EMK Center, he spent 4 years as a career guidance counselor and assisted the qualified students of a leading English medium school to secure a place in their desired universities across the globe. Some of them also went on to join Ivy League University. He is now providing services to the US community to help both local and US institutional leaders meet their campus internationalization goals, equipping the institutions to help their students to get into their matched universities based on their long-term career goal is something he loves doing. He completed his master's degree from Sweden and worked as a researcher in Portugal through the Erasmus exchange program. He has presented the higher education landscape of Bangladesh at various international conferences such as IC3, International ACAC in the USA, Hong Kong, Nepal, and India. He aims to equip students towards a better and a brighter future through higher education and career resources, tools, and connection. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you here with us today, Tohin. I will share your presentation for you. Give me a second. I'll just pull you up your presentation and you can start speaking in the meanwhile.
Thank you so very much, Ankur. Am I audible?
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. It's really good to see all of my favorite peoples who I've been working with for quite a long time. These are my, I consider my, my family. So I'm extremely lucky to be a part of this wonderful panel discussion. This is a really timely one, I must say, because the COVID-19 has, profoundly reshaped our work, our advising pattern, meeting with the students, communicating with the universities, providing them the service, both sides. Through this discussion, I really hope, and I have learned actually a lot from all those previous speakers, that how they have really helped their students, their kids, so that they can get the best facilities despite this pandemic situation. So the thing that I want to talk, majority of the things been covered already by my previous speakers. And since we have been working in the same industry for quite a long time, so Nusrat already mentioned about how they're providing service to the students, as well as what sorts of facilities they're getting from the universities. So I'd like to shed some light on some other areas that how from the EMK Center we try to provide service to the young professionals. Now, when I mean young professionals, it's not only the school students or university students. It's a combination of the kids and ranging towards to the young educators as well.
Tohin, your voice is breaking. Probably you should switch off your camera. That is better.
For various source of
Tohin, your voice is breaking. Switch off your camera, my friend.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, this is better now. Please go ahead.
Okay. Space established with the joint collaboration of US Embassy Dhaka and now ULab, one of the private universities in Bangladesh. So the aim of this CMK Center is promoting tolerance and diversity, so that it can engage people from diverse areas and empower them towards getting the facilities they deserve to get in order to themselves in the mainstream, and utilizing or leveraging this opportunity so that they can get future ready. If you can move on to the next slide.
Tohin, your voice is breaking, my friend. There is some network problem. We can't really hear you. Probably you should reconnect and try some better internet connection, because
Yeah.
it's ruining your presentation.
Yeah. Can you just give me
So what we'll do is you can take 5 minutes. I have
minute?
some few questions that we can take up now, and then we'll come back to you. Okay.
Sure.
In the meanwhile,
Sure. Thank you very
Tohin
much.
comes back. Yeah, when Tohin comes back, I'd like to take some couple of questions that are already there. I think we should give him some sort of these technical issues. I'll start with the first question that I have. Give me a second. So the first question is for you, Suman, and this is from David from. He mentioned a couple of I had in the initial first 10 minutes of your presentation. So he wants to know, he was very impressed with what you are doing at Asian University for Women. He wanted to know the profile of students that get into AUW. What are the things that you look for? Is there any international quota of countries that you recruit from, especially? And how can students, number of seats in your programs, and how can students apply to AUW? So if you can talk about something about your admission process and the scholarship process at AUW.
Yeah. Thank you, Ankur. I think a good question from David. I think first we have about little less than 50% of our students are from foreign countries outside Bangladesh. So each country, before the session begins, like for the spring, we are allotting quotas for each country, and the student have to appear for an entrance examination by the university, which is held in that country. And the criteria, yeah, the students have to be high school pass out with minimum of 60% in their secondary and higher secondary examinations. And our test, we do testing on English and mathematics, and we give priority to women who show leadership skills or capabilities, and are motivated to do something for the society and for the community that they come from. That's a very, very important part. So after the examination, we do a personal interview round with each student who passes the exam, and we try to understand their grit, the determination to do well. So we actually use Angela Duckworth's test to test that grit, and also followed by our questions by our faculty and staff to understand their commitment and uh, determination to change the societies or the communities they come from. And David, once again, we have some reserved identified groups that we take students from, and we announce that in our applications. Like I can give you an example that this time we are doing a recruitment drive for Balochistan in Pakistan. So we have identified that we want to have girls from Balochistan in Pakistan. In the fall, we did the same for Kashmir in India. So, like last year, we did that for the Kachin girls in Myanmar. So we identify some communities, but otherwise, you are free to write to me. My email ID is suman.chatterjee@auw.edu.bd or admissions@auw.edu.bd. I'd be happy to connect with you and answer you more specific questions. Thank you, Ankur.
And David, he also wants to know the number of students that you take in a year, seats available.
So from the last year, we have 2 sessions. We are taking spring and fall. So we normally take around 300 students per year. We are a small university in that sense. Yeah.
And are these all students are on scholarships, or they're
No.
they're self-funded too?
Yeah, self-funded. So about 30% of students are self-funded, and balance 70% would be.
And what is the average tuition fee? If you're self-funded, what is the fee for a student?
Its average is around $6,000 to $8,000 a year.
6,000 to 8,000, including your boarding, right?
Yeah, boarding, food, and everything, including course and book supplies. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking up that question from David. Moving
Thank you.
on, my next question, I think it's not directed to any particular person, but I'll suggest it's towards the career counselors. So I'll request Evana or Nusrat, probably you can take it up. Are you seeing, and this is from Rakesh from Mumbai, he's saying, are you seeing a rethink on the courses and the international education destinations for your students post-COVID? So probably we can start with Nusrat. Are you seeing a realignment in terms of student career choices? Probably students differing, going abroad or choosing altogether different destination for higher education. So if you can talk about that, the impact of COVID on career choices of your students.
Yes, with the COVID impact, I would say like students are trying to go to those places where actually visa is more secured, border is more flexible to open, and also I could see a shift in more into biological sciences, like subjects like that would include more research, and that is something they are thinking upcoming. And I would also encourage them, like students, parents are now they are trying to shift from engineering is like being coming from a Southeast Asian country, like this how this engineering, medicine and law are is the first priority of the parents. So I would say like the big shift is going to research, especially biological sciences, biomedical sciences, and parents and students both are taking it. And yes, there is a differ for a lot of students, because a lot of them they are trying to take a gap year, and they are have postponed their first semester to January. But as it's the same situation that they have now enrolled for the online classes, and it's few students, I would say very like maybe 5% have decided to be back in the country, and they probably would transfer their credit, but 90% of our students are taking online classes, and they are sticking with the decision that they have taken, which university they want to go. So yeah, there is a shift, but also there is an impact on economy to our parents as well. But they are still supportive. They are still trying their best to accommodate their students. Yes.
Thank you, Nusrat. Ivana, if you also want to talk about your students in Scholastica, what is happening?
Yes, it's similar to what Nusrat said. It's subject choices from subjects like engineering to medicine to subjects which I even had to conduct research on. A lot of my students are looking into data science as a major, which is very different from what they previously looked into. And yes, computer engineering, those are still there, but subjects like data science is increasing. They want to study these more. Biomedical sciences, where more research is required, these are included. Among our students, the deferral trend, initially, it was everybody wanted to defer because they didn't exist in education. But now we're more stable. So online education is pretty much full going. One or two students have deferred, but almost 90% they have enrolled in online classes and they're doing it. And what they initially planned to go to the university, that is continuing. There is a slight inclination towards a particular country. Wouldn't be fair for me to name the country at this moment, but the thing is that they're more welcoming to international. Even during COVID situations, they have been proved to be more accommodating to international students, and that is where they're targeting at this point. Pretty much the trend, like Nusrat said, it's the same. I guess it's the same across most of the schools in Dhaka.
Thank you, Ivana.
Thank you.
Quickly, Tohin, are you back? So can we try now your session?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I'll share your slides, and hopefully it will work this time. All the best.
Okay, I don't want to take so long time because it's already there. So EMT Center, we do have like 6 pillars under which we work. We do have the public service and arts through various partnerships and collaboration. We organize events with professionals and the personnel from who are working in the industry as well as in the education sector, the academicians, so that they can provide the hands-on information about what's going on in the industry. Like tomorrow, we have a session on international mindedness, where two educators from United States and UK who were actually working for ISD. I believe Nusrat was their colleague. So, we are inviting personnel from different part of the world so that we can really promote their service. In the Makers Lab, what we do have the STEM education. We train the students, conduct the workshops on the tech tools that is going to be required for the coming era. Um, like graphics design or programming like Python or R, and these sorts of softwares and tools, which is going to be play a crucial role in the upcoming era. We are training students on that as well. As you can see, Education USA, which I represent, is basically a global network of US State Department. I believe majority of the participants already know about this thing. So we try to promote the US higher education, but yeah, definitely considering the need of the students. I never tell my students that you need to go to USA. I tell them, okay, let me hear your passion and interest, and then see what sorts of career ambition you have, and then if still you feel that USA is your premier destination to go, please go ahead. Otherwise, you can choose the alternate options. We also invite the startup leaders from different parts of the country so that they can train the young professionals towards the entrepreneurship. So if anyone would like to, initiate a startup, we have a bunch of professionals with us who help by conducting sessions and seminars on how to really develop their skills, how to develop a business model, and these sorts of things on entrepreneurship development. Now, recently, after I joined at EMK Center, we have launched two more pillars. One is employability skill development, and the other one is the teaching and learning skill development. So employability skill, as we have seen because of the COVID-19, there is a significant shift towards, the economic stability has been shattered. We have seen thousands of people are losing their jobs. So we want students to get future ready. We are trying to equip them with whatever things are required to develop their skills to get future ready. Teaching and learning skill, we work for the teachers as well. So we invite the teachers trainers from different part of the world so that they can guide the teachers how can really they equip their students based on the current need. As you can see at Education USA, we invite some regular events on application requirement or scholarship search process and how to write personal statement, or the boot camps on GRE or GMAT or SAT or TOEFL and IELTS. Thanks, because of COVID-19, there is a significant adverse impact of COVID-19, but at the same time, the US universities, a majority of the chunk, they have gone test optional. Like 1,500 US universities have gone SAT or ACT test optional, and then hundreds and hundreds of universities have gone GRE and GMAT test optional. So thanks to those university representatives who are trying tirelessly, working with our communities, the guidance counselors and the students, whenever they require, they are there to help. We used to provide individual counseling at our centers earlier, but because of the COVID-19, the session is designed to talk about the international students' mobility. So as you can see, instead of individual counseling, now we are providing phone advising and Zoom advising and some other platforms, so where students can communicate with us even though they cannot meet us in person. But trust me, face-to-face advising is something I will tell that we miss a lot as an student advisor. I'm sure Evana and Nusrat will be agreeing on that. Because there is something that you definitely want to see and hear, and then try to match their requirement, and based on that you want to guide them. So going back again to how the US universities or across the globe, the they're trying to help. Even though they can't come to our country at this moment, but they're generous enough to try their different opportunities. So we are bringing 100 plus US universities to a virtual fair so that they can talk in person, through virtual medium or platform to the students. The students will get this opportunity to choose their um, narrow down list of the universities and then can chat with them, knowing about the latest offerings and all that. So yeah, this is how the education, higher education towards USA is being like now shifting. Now, the next phase, I would like to restate what we all started talking about, that the impact of the COVID-19 and how the significantly our entire system has been going through a change, right? So we want to make them future ready. Recently, we've been doing a couple of research with the government, ICT Ministry and EY, and a recent research report says that there are 11 type of jobs will not be in high demand, which we were thinking that it will continue until 2030. But because of the COVID-19, a lot of skills will be required. So we have designed team so that we can guide students so that we can prepare them to get ready for a sustainable post-pandemic future. So if you can move on to the next slide. So based on these 5 themes, as the EMK Center, our one of the core goal is to ensure that policy dialogue among the professionals, youths, academicians, and industry leaders. So we want to ensure that people who are jumping into the job sector, they are basically future ready. So we invite a lot of policy dialogues and so many other things as well. The office structure has been changing. So usually used to work from office. Right now, as you can see, all the panelists are working from home. So we want to ensure that the young people are getting ready for with those future skills, and in terms of the technological impact and the education of the future world. So all in all, we are bringing the professionals from the diverse areas. So if you can move to the next slide, you will see a bunch of professionals from different areas are coming. We are bringing the career coach from the Coursera. We are bringing the regional director of LinkedIn. We are bringing from the Ava Software or Intel Corporation or different tech leaders, so that they can literally do talk with the participants and let them make the informed decision. So this is something that a recent time is my favorite word is it's making an informed decision based on what is necessary at this point of time. So as you can see, we invited Ganesh and some other personals as well, so that they can really highlight on the changes that is happening because of this COVID-19 situation, and how can really we ensure those 8 skills that is going to be on high demand. Let me take a quote from one of the recent research from the Harvard University, that from 2000 to 2010, it was the demand to get ready with the tech skills. But now in 2015 or 2020, as we are talking, the most important skill, 85% successful people, they have the skill of the people skill. So the tech skill is definitely required, but the people skill is more important. So we are conducting sessions more on how can they really develop their credentials in terms of empathy, emotional intelligence, critical thinking ability, analyzing ability, the negotiation skills, and so many other areas that is really crucial. Particularly, I as an engineering student, I had a serious lack of communication skill and socializing skill. So I mean, I know that there are like thousands of young people like me. They are really suffering because of kind of their introvert or something like that. They thought that, okay, I'm a good researcher or I'm a tech savvy person, but no. The coming era is going to be for the people who are really tech savvy. I mean, they have the people skill. So yeah, all in all, we are trying to ensure that the young generations, they are getting future ready with what is on demand by the world at the post-pandemic era. So yeah, looking forward to answer some of the questions. Yeah, that's what all from my side at this point of time. Thank you. I think I can hear you, Ankur. Others?
Yeah, I
I
was
can't
on
hear.
mute. Sorry, I was on mute. I was just saying, you
Yeah,
know, we are just
I
about
was
to
thinking it's
the,
only from my side.
you know. So thank you so much, Tohin. I was just saying, complimenting you on your presentation and the work that you have been doing at EMK Center. I was very impressed by the slide on the work that you are doing with regards to future of work post COVID-19. So I'm just curious to understand the strategies that you at EMK Center are employing to ensure that youth have necessary resources for the future. If you can talk about that, and then we'll go to the concluding remarks.
Exactly, exactly. So based the research that we have done during April and May, there is a 40-page research paper we have designed. We work with the ICT ministry, and then we have found out that there are like some industries like agro-based industry, and there are like some food industry, supply chain management. These are going to be on high demand after this COVID-19 situation, right? And then there are like a couple of other jobs which were in demand before COVID-19 will be on less demand. So what strategy we have taken is there are like 8 findings that, okay, these are the areas that our students really need to get equipped with if they want to really be ready for the after COVID-19 job market. Because what's happening is nowadays, for last couple of months, you must be hearing both in Bangladesh and India and other part of the world, like head of the HRs and a lot of general managers and managers are being terminated. And one of the core reason for that is probably they are not that tech savvy how the current world is demanding. A lot of teachers are also losing their job because they are not tech savvy, even though they were really good teachers. So our core goal was really assist them so that they can really well equip themselves not to lose the job, or they can better equip themselves for the demand of the after COVID-19 job market. So that 5 theme that I have shared at my slide is these 5 areas that we are working on right now. So the one is that office life, how it's changing, how can you really get adapted with that thing. For the students, how can they really get adapted with the higher education sector, taking advantages of different webinars and the programs like Coursera's and the other online teaching platforms, equipping the teachers as well with the information that they need to have if they want to train the students in the long run. And definitely, how can they really ensure networking with the foreign countries, because nowadays it's been ever so easy. You can really get in touch with anybody and everyone across the globe. You just need to type a message like in LinkedIn or some other medium. I had really some fruitful meeting in last couple of months with some of the tech leaders or the industry leaders. So I believe this is something that is in high demand, and we at EMK Center, we are trying to promote that facilities and ensure that people are well equipped with those services. Does that answer your
Thank you.
question?
Thank you, Tohin. That's a wonderful answer, and my best wishes to you in the noble cause that you have taken up. Definitely, it's been tough times and times that have asked us to adapt to the new normal, as they say. So, thank you. I think we have just about come to the end of the time for what we had for this webinar. 90 minutes are over. I'd like to say my as extreme gratitude to all my panelists for taking time out on behalf of OP Jindal Global University. Our sincere gratitude to each one of you for taking time out on a Saturday and being here with us for this informative webinar. I hope everybody found it useful, and I think as some one of my panelists was saying that I learned more than what I had to contribute. So pleasure, and probably we will see you again sometime soon in Dhaka, or you are here in Delhi or in Mumbai for one of the conferences. So thank you so much. Any concluding remarks from my panelists? I will open up the floor, and if anybody wants to say any last message for the audience, you are free to do so. Otherwise, it's a goodbye from me.
From my side, I would say to all the panelists and also all the participants as well, and whoever watching from your institution of Jindal University, that this current time, we are really in an extraordinary time, turbulent time. So we really need to stick together, cooperate each other, make a lot of collaborations and partnerships. So me, Razoun Siddiky, on behalf of EMK Center, is always ready to welcome the collaboration scope and partnership scopes. So if you have anything that you really want to work with us, please don't hesitate to contact me or my centers. So I'll be really happy to work with all of you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Tohin. Pleasure. Okay, then I think that's.
And
Yes,
I
Afsana,
also
you
just
want to
want to
say something?
extend my gratitude to Ankur. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah, thank
Thank
arranging
you.
this.
you.
And
It was very helpful. Thank you
no,
so much.
actually, I was
Yeah,
For us too.
thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank
Good.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so
See
much.
you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a good lunch and a good weekend. Bye. Bye.
Bye bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Same.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Stay safe. Stay well.